But the name Mormon Trail is never going to be called Latter-day Saint Trail because it's a historic trail. That's the National Park Service's recognized name. And so starting in about 1846, you'd been to Nauvoo. They are leaving Nauvoo to seek a place where they can build a community of God. And that's going to be in the Salt Lake Valley, in the Great Basin. So they get stuck here at winter quarters because of the rain and the mud that they encounter that first spring. So when it gets too late for them to continue in 1846, they winter over and continue their trek in 1847. But that trail continues to be used until the railroad, 1869. And then so what you're going to see is the museum's in three parts. The first part is the Exodus of Nauvoo, then the staying in winter quarters, and then the last part is there's actually a replica of a train because the train comes in 1869, and that's the trip from winter quarters to Salt Lake.
This is the oldest bank in Nebraska?
Yes, it is. It's built in 1855 when they started. They floated from Cincinnati, they floated our vault down, brought it back up the Missouri River, brought it across by wagon, built our vault. There's 3 foot of concrete around the vault, then they built the building.
They would have to.
We are the only wildcat bank in a long ways that was never robbed.
What's a wildcat?
We printed our own money.
Do you have enough money here? I can change that.
I got lots right there, I hope so. I'll give it to you.
Can you hear me down there? Yeah. Okay. My name is Linda Meggs, and a lot of people just know me as the Mill Lady. This has been my project since 1998. Thank you.
Linda, what's the history of the building itself?
This is the oldest business site in the state. It goes back to 1846. It was originally built by Brigham Young. It was his idea to build this mill. The Mormons started it in 1846, finished it in 1847, and abandoned it in 1848 because Salt Lake City had been founded. And so in 1848, Winter Quarters became a ghost town. Kansas-Nebraska Act was signed, opening up this side of the river for settlement. And it was also the time that the first little cities were allowed to be chartered and started. Florence was one of the first chartered towns, as was Omaha City. The Omaha Arrow newspaper was published in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and its function was to sell lots in the new boom towns of Florence and Omaha City. And this ad that I have copied here talks about the Mormons had a good mill here with tuber of stone, and the mill privileges were for sale, and the timber frames are still standing, which is wonderful first-person documentation. Otherwise, these hand-hewn peg timbers in here are legend.
So the church was finished in 1941. Next to the church is a rectory where Father Flanagan moved to from his house. I'm going to give you a couple of information. One is the statues. The statues are unique because what they did was they took the people of the 80s when they made this museum, they put masks on their face, took the mask off and made the statue. The clothes on the statue are real clothes. They sprayed them with a chemical to make them look like metal, I mean they're cement. The guy that's standing up looks exactly like Father Flanagan. That is his nephew. Wow. They found him, they brought him in here, and they took care of him. Okay? This is called a boy in the box, obviously. What happened was when Father Flanagan was transferred here to Omaha, he was in charge of two things. One was a church, and one was a hotel for guys that didn't have a job and no place, some place to crash. So the more he talked to the old guys in that one hotel, oddly enough it was called Workman's Hotel, but nobody had a job. He talked to them and he decided that they're on the backside of their life, and he saw this, the boys in the box. I want to help young kids. So he went to his bishop and he asked him for permission, and he got it. Not to quit being a priest, just not to have a church and a hotel. So he borrowed $90 from a gentleman named Henry Monsky for his first month's rent on that house. That is a picture of the original house. That house was 10 miles away down Dodge Street. It doesn't exist anymore, but there's a plaque on the ground showing where it was. He put a shingle out. Now I'm going to say this 1,000 times, just like in the movie. He put a shingle out and it said, Father Flanagan's Home for Boys. And those five boys showed up. Now in a very short time there was 10, then 15, 20, 25, because they told their friends who told their friends who told their friends. You want to sleep in a box tonight or you want to sleep in a house? Guess what? Everybody ran to the house. The house filled up really fast. Big boys on the ends, little boys in the middle. This guy looks like a troublemaker to me. Sure. This is how they slept. You can only imagine how big that building was. Every bed has a quilt. At the height of Boys Town, there were 900 boys here. That was huge. I don't know if I could do that if somebody snored. Kids love to play marbles. If you walked around here in the 20s, you would see circles all over the campus. Easy game to play. They started with mud balls rolled up and dried by the sun until somebody donated marbles. Now, I want you to help me out here. I've done this with every tour, and nobody's followed up yet, so you could be the first ones. I'm starting a rumor that says, I lost my marbles came from here. they found this on the campus. Father Flanagan found boys who could sing, dance, play musical instruments, put on plays. They talked about Boys Town, and they asked for donations. And the word was getting around. Okay. In the classrooms, they had big kids and little kids in the same classroom, learning how to read and write. None of them knew anything about money. So Father Flanagan made kind of a bank, and they spent Boys Town bucks. And they could only spend it in Boys Town. But it taught them the value of money. We have a choir. The choir was very successful when it was just boys. They played in China. They were on the Osmond TV show. They were on the Ed Sullivan show. They were very, very popular, and they were very good. Today, it's boys and girls. We don't travel so much for that reason, so it's local. But every June, we have the College World Series, and they do sing the national anthem at one of the games. Kid on his back, his name was Howard Loomis. Howard had polio. Every place Howard wanted to go, Reuben took him. So Father Flanagan saw this and took a picture of it, just like he's doing. And he said, that's our logo. Now, I'm going to give you, it may be shocking, but that he ain't heavy, he's my brother, that's not ours. We stole that from California. It was, he ain't heavy, mister, he's my brother. There was no copyright. We didn't steal it and go to jail, but we liked it, we stole it. And then the Hollies made a record, a song about it in the 80s. So all of a sudden it became ours, not California's, and we were fine with that. Just like our football team and our baseball team were called the Cowboys. We were the Cowboys before the Cowboys were the Cowboys. So what we decided to do is we stole their star, since they stole our name. So we're even. This guy's name is Lloyd Bucher. He was the captain of the USS Pueblo. And he was captured by the North Koreans. He was held prisoner of war for a year, and then he was released.
And he's one of your...
He is a Boys Town boy. He spoke at many functions of Boys Town, made a cover of Time magazine. This guy's name was Cecil Stoughton. Cecil became a White House photographer. He was on Air Force One in Dallas, Texas, when John F. Kennedy got shot and killed. He was the only White House photographer on that plane. So, when he got shot and Jackie Kennedy was standing next to Lyndon Johnson being sworn in, Cecil was the only guy with a camera. So he's the one who took that famous picture. He was a Boys Town boy as well.